Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. Today, we have a very special, interesting wrestling episode for you guys. I'm going to be honest, this wasn't even supposed to be recorded at this point in time, but there's been some wrestling events that have taken over not just the internet wrestling community, but also mainstream media. So Jacob said, the wrestling expert said, we got to get on, and he was free today of recording. So we're here. So we got the wrestling expert, Jacob Mason. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I am fantastic. I'm fired up. The wrestling gods have shined their light upon us because we have exciting new topics, and I am miraculously off of work today. So let's do a fucking surprise out of nowhere podcast. Let's fucking go.
And starting his trend of being on from this podcast till the end of WrestleMania, the captain is here with us, Mr. Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
You know, I had to hop on with the big news that just dropped in the last week or so. So I'm here. Like you said, I'll be here until the end of WrestleMania for the wrestling pods.
Yeah, because usually, you don't come back until January. This had to bring you early.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's too big to pass up.
Okay. So let's start off with, I guess, the easy pitch one. So first, Mia Yim. So Mia Yim deactivated her Twitter account following Austin Theory photo drama. Long story short, Mia Yim is back in WWE. Triple H brought her back. And she is friends with Austin Theory. She posted a picture with Austin Theory, like those little, like when they're shooting and whenever they shoot pictures. It was just a wholesome picture. And Jacob, as you and I have talked about, this internet wrestling community is wild and they pick the weirdest things. Everyone was in her comments saying, look how she's holding on to Austin. She's definitely cheating on Keith Lee, and people going back and forth, and she had to deactivate her account.
Like the internet wrestling community is wild. I feel like this is like the second time Miam has deactivated her account because the internet wrestling community is a bunch of trolls and dumbasses.
You could say the internet wrestling community is a very toxic attraction.
Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah, but it was like a hilarious outtake picture. Then the internet wrestling community decided to be in the forefront of, can guys and girls be friends without doing it?
Yes. Plain and simple, yes.
I don't know why it's always Mia Yim. Like, I feel like, Byron, you brought this up, that it's like the second time she's had to deactivate her Twitter because of the internet wrestling community.
I don't get what they have against me. She's a great wrestler. She came back and doing good with the OC, so of course the internet wrestling community is going to do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, she's riding off some good momentum, just came back, was part of the War Games winning team with Styles and all that. But I feel like in a couple of months, Mia Yim's thing will be back. I don't know if Austin Theory has said anything, though.
Yeah,
No, I agree. It's just he might be like, hey, leave her alone.
Yeah.
But, Mia Yim, you'll be back soon. All right. So, for anyone who wants the brief synopsis of what I'm about to talk about, make sure you go to the L7C Twitter, posted all the investigative pick-stitch journalism in regards to what we're about to talk about. I'll also post a link to the tweet in our description box, wherever you're listening to this to, Anchor, Spotify, YouTube. So, January 12th, 9:45, Mandy Rose started trending randomly. At first, I thought it was for the just for NXT on Tuesday. But you dig deeper, and a Twitter user named iBeast has 9,709 followers, 6,000, and he follows 6,843 people. He tweeted on the 11th, so a day before the 12th, he said, the shit Mandy Rose be doing on her OnlyFans, I'm surprised WWE hasn't stepped in yet. That tweet went very viral. And people were like, wait, does Mandy have an OnlyFans? What's going on? This guy's just lying because if you type in Mandy Rose OnlyFans, it doesn't exist. Mandy Rose does not have an OnlyFans. Mandy Rose has what they call a fan. I had the exact thing. It's like the offshoot version of OnlyFans that no one knew existed.
Right.
Fan.
I think it's called like Fan Time or something like that.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Byron. Fan Time. Did you guys know Fan Time existed?
No, not until recently.
They've got a hell of a promotion though recently. A lot of free advertisement going on for Fan Time.
So this was huge in the fact that then iBeast posted the screenshot of legitimate real Mandy Rose messaging him saying, hey, can you please delete that tweet ASAP? iBeast said, Cash App for 1K, you're rich. She said no. And then he said, like, there's no fucking way Mandy Rose is really doing this, yada, yada. He said, well, you got to follow me then. Mandy Rose then proceeds to follow iBeast on Twitter right after this. Tuesday, NXT was on, and Roxanne, shout out to her, like Booker T's like wrestling daughter. She becomes number one contender at the previous thing at Deadline. She, at the beginning of the show, calls out Mandy Rose and says she wants the title match tonight. And Mandy accepts. And I'm like, hold on. This was supposed to be in January. Something's up. Get to the main event. Roxanne beats Mandy Rose for the title. And you're just sitting there like, they just ended the 413-day reign on live TV. No build-up. That's a little odd. So then iBeast tweets after the match, oh, you guys are going to say I leaked her private photos is literally the reason that she lost the title. I merely said she was going crazy. The thing WWE cares about a Twitter account to this point, they decided her to drop the title. It's actually insane. That is what he said on the 13th. Well, on the 14th, it came out of nowhere. Mandy Rose gets released from WWE. All the big wrestling sites reporting it. WWE hasn't done their signature. We've parted ways with so-and-so. We wish her the best in all endeavors. They haven't done that yet, but everyone is like, what the hell happened? All of that. So that's when I was just like, all right, because I was waiting to see if it was real before sharing it with you guys. And once I was like, all right, this is real. Like, he had that tweet and Mandy reached out to him. And I think him posting that screenshot of Mandy actually saying, hey, you can you take this down, please? And her accepting his demands, like, I'm gonna follow you and all that. Because it got viral and someone in WWE's thing saw it and all the questions were asked. Because I saw too that they changed the plans for her to lose the title literally that Tuesday.
That's what it felt like too. Like, just looking at past like the tweets of NXT, like Roxanne calling her out, and then Roxanne winning the title. Because I know it was supposed to happen at New Year's Evil, which is their next pay-per-view or premium live event, as they call it now. So it was strange, but it sucks because it kind of like downplays Roxanne's win. Because I don't know if she was supposed to win at New Year's Evil or not, but I'm happy that she did win because I've been a fan of her since that Deadline. She put on a hell of a show at Deadline and winning the title, but you just never know if she was supposed to win it or not.
Yeah, because she is in my category, which I have categories for this. She's in the category of people this is negatively affected and not even because now no one's talking about her winning.
Right.
And like, because she had all the feel good moments, like seeing Booker T like at Deadline crying, like because she won, like that emotional stuff because he was her trainer, like all that stuff. And then there's even videos too from like 2015 tough enough of her, not tough enough, Total Divas, where she's like in the crowd asking like Natalia, how do I become a professional wrestler? And you go from that to the NXT Women's Champion, and she was just champion in a previous
ROH.
ROH, and she's only 21.
Yeah, that's wild. Because at the beginning of the year, she was ROH champion, then lost it to, I think, Deonna Purrazzo, and then made her way into NXT, and now she's an NXT Women's Champion, which is
and I don't think
amazing career.
Ever done that.
Right.
So, Jacob, what did you think when you saw the news initially that Mandy was getting released?
Yeah, I was confused. I still am partially confused because I do find it weird that WWE has not done their future endeavors statement. I find that very fucking odd. Like the weird wrestling part of my mind in the back of it's going like, is this somehow a fucking work? You know, just because WWE has not said a thing yet. They'll always quick, you know, but maybe under Triple H's regime, this is just business now. This is how they're going to do shit. Maybe they're not going to future endeavor people. It's just, we're done. You're not going to see them again, and move the fuck on.
I wasn't. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
No, I was going to say that I'm not even sure he's the one who let her go.
Yeah, I think it had to come from like Stephanie or
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Fucking Nick.
Nicholas.
Fucking Saint Nick.
I sat there and IBeast hasn't. His last tweet was there's no way on December 14th after the Mandy news. And like, I posted the stuff. I usually don't tweet at people, especially if I don't know them, besides like, oh, John Cena, when you coming back? Or like stuff like that. But like IBeast, I was like, dude, how are you saying there's no way? This is you. You were like the final, because no one else has ever posted about this site, but it was you.
Right. Like, he's basically to blame. Like, the first tweet was fine, I guess. But then to post the screenshot of you blackmailing her is wild to me.
Yeah, that shit was cringy as fuck.
Yes. He literally asked like, why would you post? I guess, why would you show that you're asking for 1K? Like, showing that you were basically like extorting her.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And then ask for a follow back, like, what the fuck kind of clout chasing are we fucking doing right here? It's fucking weird.
Ruin her whole career for clout or $1,000.
Right.
I hope she unfollowed him too.
Yeah, she unfollowed him after she got fired, because what's the point?
Good.
He's not going to keep I checked. Yeah, he's not going to keep my stuff anymore. And it was so weird because, again, like you, Jacob, still to this day, I'm like, where's the WWE future endeavor thing? Knowing our luck, it's going to come out as soon as we're done recording. But I didn't believe it from these sites saying she was released, because it made no sense. This woman was champ for 400 something days. Like, she was basically carrying her women's division, then to fire her right after she gives up the title. But then I see other people who have been affected by this. Toxic Attraction. Tweeting heartbreaks and dead roses and like people tweeting condolences and all. I'm like, this is real, because no fault to Gigi and Jane, their careers are now going to be at a stalemate, because without Mandy, who knows if Toxic Attraction even exists anymore and what happens to those two.
I hope they don't break them up because of Mandy Rose firing. Like, they're actually a good tag team. So I hope they push them in spite of this firing. Because they're actually, like I said, they're actually a good team. I enjoy them.
What do you do without your leader?
Find a new one, or just go ahead and just be a tag team. Like, they were a faction. They were a tag team before Mandy, so they could still be a tag team without Mandy, which sucks to say.
True. But she's the one who elevated those two.
Yeah.
Like, they don't get to where they're at without her. And now it's like, do we even, without Mandy, are those two just going to be what they were at the beginning, just bottom dwellers at NXT?
I hope not.
They should
either. Well, I guess they shouldn't be. Like either have them continue, being good in NXT, or put them on the main roster. Because the SmackDown Women's Division needs women.
No, that's true. Jacob, you brought up like the Triple H regime, and we've heard him bring up like Ring of Honor, all that stuff. I just hope with this Mandy firing, they don't completely repackage them and act like their previous history doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're still on NXT, so fucking anything's possible.
True.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think it was right for Mandy Rose to get fired?
No, I think she should have got suspended. Like, I don't know. I've heard rumors. Martin told me that this may have been her third offense. I don't know. But if it was her first offense, and I think it was a little extreme for her to get fired. Me personally, I think she just should have been suspended, strip her of the title like they did, but I think they should have suspended her first before outright firing her.
Martin?
Dude, I've actually been struggling with this question for the past couple days, just because this is going to be my most long-winded thing of this podcast. A year ago, 2 years ago, actually, Jacob and I were recording breaking news of the third party ban. We remember that, one of our best podcast episodes ever.
Mm-hmm.
We come to, what day was this? April 2022, or, right when Triple H, Stephanie, they're all taking over. They were no longer banned from the third party platforms like Twitch, Cameo. You can do all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So third party ban, yada yada. Mandy had this fan site that no one knew existed, Fan Time, and apparently WWE knew it existed, but that's when she was just posting like bikini stuff. Because remember, people who had OnlyFans like Selena and Scarlett, like they weren't posting like, because if they were, the internet wrestling community would have found them. They weren't posting like nude photos or anything like that.
All right.
That's why Selena's back, because she was the first person fired from the ban, and Scarlett's back. And all the other people are making money doing their other stuff. So from what I was seeing from a whole bunch of different sources, that WWE knew about the site and they were cool with it while she was posting like her bikini stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy's making money on there. And then she starts taking things a step further. So she starts getting a little bit more explicit because money is coming in, thinking that she's not going to get in trouble. So she had the video of her topless in the pool. She never just comes straight out of the pool, but you can see like the water reflection. She had pictures of her in the shower and all that stuff. And then I think the last straw, that the picture leaked of her and her husband basically about to do it in the shower. So it's like, you're doing all these things when WWE said you could post bikini pics and you'll be cool, but then you take it a step further. So I'm like, all right, well, now you're doing that. So she was the one doing all this stuff. She knew the risk. I won't agree with IBs. He never should have said what he never should have posted those screenshots. Like, he should have kept that shit to himself. But it's like, what do you do? I agree with the stripping of the title, but WWE said you can do third party stuff. You can't be out here just doing you can't be out here being a porn, like not a porn star, but doing super adult content like that. You just can't. And people which Byron, I know you brought up that thing, and I wasn't mad at you. I was just mad at the comparison where people try to bring up Riddle getting suspended. It's like, oh, it's not fair. It's a double standard. That's different. Riddle's one was an addiction. WWE in the past, if you would have had an addiction, they would have kicked your ass to the curve. Now they're trying to like, hey, we'll suspend you. You go to rehab. So they've improved on that. And it's like they were in a bind because Mandy Rose was their champion. She's going out doing public appearances, and you can't go and do these public appearances if everyone's just saying, oh, well, I just saw Mandy Rose just fingering herself for 30 minutes on fan time. It's just the way it is because she breached the contract. She breached the toy contract or whatever, whoever makes their toys. So it's like, what? Yeah, thank you. So it's like, what do you do? I think I would have suspended her. I think I would have done 90 just to let it die out. And then her getting suspended 90 without pay, she loses the biggest monies of her year because of Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, all that stuff. And then you come back because, like Jacob said earlier, they haven't done the Endeavors thing. And I've read that the door's still open for her to come back. But it's like she made the choice. That's my biggest gripe. Like she continued doing it and got riskier and riskier each week.
Also, like, I wonder if like someone like JC Jane or
Gigi
was like telling her maybe you should like calm down on like the fan time stuff, and she was just ignoring it. But I do agree that it was her choice, but I still think WWE could have handled it differently.
I mean, they weren't the ones who, I don't know who the hell leaked the firing.
That's true.
That's another thing. Who leaked it? They could have done. Do you remember when CM Punk walked away and we didn't get like a confirmation for like almost 2 years?
Yeah.
They could have done something like that. Like she's written off TV. Keep it quiet. Like we're not saying we're firing her. We're not saying we're not. And then we reevaluate it.
Yeah, I agree. They could have done that.
Jacob, what do you think?
So I look at this a couple different ways because let's be real, a lot of this is speculation. So I look at this like a couple different ways. I got to look at it like from a business standpoint and then from like a human standpoint, if that makes sense. But I look at it like this. WWE is obviously very strict because it still is a kid's. Is that right? A kid's product? Am I in the right saying that?
Yeah,
especially for the endorsements, 1000%.
The PG era.
Now I gotta imagine they had a conversation about this, and the conversation is what I would love to know about that we'll probably never get.
Yeah,
I wonder if WWE. I had no doubt they knew about it. But when it came to all the other stuff, all the more adult-like stuff, I gotta imagine they probably asked or probably were like, hey, take this down. Now, if she said yes and took it down, then I could understand suspension. But I wonder if they asked her, like, hey, take this down. She's like, no. Then I can understand the firing part of it.
True.
I want to add in real quick too, like from a business standpoint, if you go on her site and you see that if you pay her $40, she will like assess your dick. That's not a good look for your champion. That is not.
Yeah, that's not good stuff. I mean, I don't know who the hell's going to pay for that, but it's the internet wrestling community. It's toxic. So part of me understands WWE's side of it. Part of me doesn't. It's a really gray area. The way I look at it. But then I also take into, like, you got brought up earlier, you have the Usos, you have Riddle, you have all these other people who've done, in my opinion, way worse stuff. I mean, we can talk about the Usos getting their like 97th DUI and then getting a push and having like the greatest tag team championship run that they've ever had. And I guess the addiction thing and everything else. It's just.
Well, no, not that. No, with Riddle, that's the Usos one. That's stupidity because they could have got Ubers. The addiction with Riddle, that's different.
Like, I don't know. It's fucking weird. Like, I don't know what you do. From a business standpoint, I get it. Like I said, I
My thing is too, with like everyone trying to make comparisons about stuff in the past. Obviously, the endorsements and all that stuff changes their perception on things. But do remember when some rando leaked Paige, Xavier Woods, and Brad Maddox stuff, neither of them got fired.
No, and they even brought that up in a WWE segment.
Because it was someone,
Yeah.
like, it wasn't, they were doing stuff privately in their home, which you can do whatever you want. You weren't charging, none of that stuff. And it got leaked by so-and-so, which that's a podcast in itself because there's only 3 of them there. So who would have done it? And then also
Right.
when Seth Rollins' nudes got leaked, it was by someone who used to be with the company. They got their ass canned. So I feel like if your private stuff gets leaked because you weren't the one doing it, you don't get fired. Because like Caitlyn had her stuff leaked. Charlotte's had her stuff leaked X amount of times. So it's like, but you're doing it deliberately. When they told you, like Jacob said, those conversations, like, hey, you got to calm this down. But it's tough because I would have went 9 again. I would have went 90. But if she would have told you to the face, I'm not taking it down, then we have an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
what I would like to know too.
Yeah, the conversation they had is literally everything. This entire situation. It's literally everything, in my opinion.
And apparently, from New York, she posted on this fan time site saying, "Thank you for all the messages. I feel overwhelmed with the love and support from you guys. Don't worry, the page is still up." Winky face.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't she keep it up at this point? What the fuck's it matter?
Yeah.
Got to make that money somehow.
True. And the rumor is that she was actually making more from it than she was from her WWE NXT contract, which I don't know how true that is, but that's just a current rumor that's going around since yesterday.
I would say go ahead, Jacob.
I believe that 100%. Those people make money at that. No one's wanting to pay for mine, but I guess they can at it.
I would say though, with that, I don't know what Mandy's thing is. I don't think she's one of like the top people like wrestling salary wise. So probably like base to base, she's probably making more. Like if you're charging $40 to like look at dudes' dicks and tell them if they have a good dick or not, and people are paying for that, and so whatever. But I guess also, sure, that's the stuff in the now time, but that money will be gone. And it's like you lose the WWE thing, which we'll get to. Is she gonna wrestle again? Obviously, because she talked about having kids and stuff. Your dude hasn't been working. Like he's not working anywhere prominent.
Wasn't he in AEW for a little bit? Or is that wrong?
Well, if Jacob doesn't know him, then he's not worth shit.
Yeah.
So you lose. So you definitely lose all. Like, I mean, if she's trying to have kids and like health insurance is important, so you lose that shit, and then you lose the I'm old. I could just come to WWE, get a couple thousand, do an appearance. If she never comes back, you lose all that. So like long term wise, no offense to her, Father Time gets everyone. Ain't no one gonna be paying for her stuff when she's like 70. And if you are, that's your prerogative. Because there's a reason all these people eventually end up on a 25th anniversary of Raw, or they always end up at WrestleMania. Because people don't realize too with the non-compete, the 90 days thing, she can't even do like signings or like wrestling at any of those wrestling stuff. Because people,
90 days, though.
But these 90 days are the biggest 90 days in wrestling.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I know we've talked about it on this podcast for people first time listening. Thank you for listening. But when it's Royal Rumble WrestleMania season, WWE is not the only wrestling company that eats. Everybody eats. Because wherever they're at, there's other promotions there. You can go across the street and you don't even have to go to Royal Rumble. You can watch X amount, whatever, fan signings, all of that. So if you can't go to any of that in the biggest 90, it's like getting fired before wedding season and you're a caterer.
True.
It's the truth. So
yeah.
when the 90 days is up, what do you think she does?
First off, I think she's like a golden goose. Like, I don't think she's going to have to worry about money even after the 90-day, even after WrestleMania season.
Mm-hmm.
What dates are WrestleMania? Do you guys know off the top of your head?
Like the first week of April.
Yeah, whatever. April 9th, maybe?
Oh, she's good.
She'll be out of her 90 days. Well
she'll be out of her 90-day by WrestleMania then.
True. People talked about her like seriously like doing some damage in the Rumble. I was seeing some odds of her like winning. They like drop the NXT title 413, have her come in. She's easy. Like if Charlotte really just decides she likes being on vacation, she's an easy win for Ronda Rousey if the Becky thing doesn't happen.
Like, I don't like quoting completely other talk show radio shows, but Busted Open Radio, which is probably the most popular wrestling talk show in all of wrestling.
Right.
Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer were talking all about Mandy Rose today because everyone's talking about Mandy Rose. And Bully Ray brought up a great point. Bully Ray said, if I was Tony Khan, I'm flying my jet directly to her house and talking to her.
Agreed.
I would have been like, and I quote, well, maybe not quoting here, but pretty close. She would have been on fucking AEW the next night. Fuck the 90-day. I'll pay the fines. Because fucking she's technically right now the biggest women's wrestler in all of wrestling as of today.
As of today. I mean, it's crazy too, because she's been in the company for 7 years, Tough Enough, was all on that. Obviously, her and Sonya got stale, had her biggest storyline at that point with Otis. And after the Otis storyline got stale again, was the first person who listened to the L7C podcast and was like, hey, you're not doing shit. Go to NXT, rebrand yourself. She did, and she's had the run of a lifetime, 400 and something days.
13 days.
13 as NXT champ. Like, she was on the run of a lifetime. And that's one of those things, for it to end like this, it just doesn't feel, doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it was supposed to be like one of Roxanne's biggest nights of her career. It's just soiled by controversy, which sucks for her.
Yeah, so Roxanne, I mean, she'll be fine maybe weeks after this, but no one's talking about her. Toxic Attraction's thinking about like, oh, what do we do? Like, what are they going to do with us? Because she was like the main focal point of this new NXT era. And like her not even getting like, she said thank you on Twitter like before we knew about the fight. I thought she was just saying thank you because, you know, the crowd was saying thank you, Mandy, for dropping the title. Because maybe like her or not, because some people didn't like her reign, some people did, but 413 is 413. Yeah. And she wrestled every week. She wasn't she wasn't part-time, full-time. She was full-time.
She rebranded herself and made the most of it, and I commend her for it.
You got AEW, you got Impact Wrestling, you have Ring of Honor, you have. It's not like there's not other wrestling companies that are going to take.
Yeah, that's true. But I think
she can have a full-time schedule. She can have a part-time schedule. The world is her oyster. She's going to be just fine.
I think with AEW too, we're reaching at the point where, like WWE, in a sense, like, okay, if I go there, what am I doing?
Yep, that's a great question. Which
there's been a lot of people who went to AEW and have been like lost in the wind.
Honestly, I think her best option, if I'm her, I am either going to Impact, which would be my number one.
Yeah.
Because there is Jordan Grace there, you know, you can get more star talent there, more eyes on the product. That'd be a great signee for Impact Wrestling. And then you also have the Japan options also. Which and later, you have so many options. She's going to be fine. Everyone in this entire case, from Roxanne to Toxic Attraction, everyone's going to be fine. This is a blip in the road. It's not the end of the world. It sucks, but yeah.
It's just like I think I'm more focused on like her like decision making. Like, dude, why did you put your wrestling name in your fucking site name?
Why'd you show your face? That's what blows my mind. Why'd you show your
Why'd you show her face?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one too.
If you're going to do that, you're like famously popular. Don't show your face. You can have all the speculation in the world.
Or stupid shit like, why would you have your title? See, I think my biggest thing is her decision making. Like, why would you have your fucking title in the background?
Well, yeah.
No.
Like, if you were going to make that site, you should. I think that's the other thing, too. You should have just made it Amanda, or whatever her last name is. Don't put Mandy in it because obviously that's trademarked by WWE. And if Mandy Rose is out here just spreading it, busted and wide open, and they're like, hey, this is one of your people to whoever your investor is, and they're like, what do we do? Like Jacob said, it's like, what do you do? I think she should not have put her wrestling name in that title.
I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of things she could have done differently there if she wanted to keep doing that stuff, which I think it was dumb to do that stuff in the first place, but hey, to each their own.
My other thing, too, about affecting people, Jacob, I brought this up with Byron because what about the roster? Like, what if they sit back and like, we gave them the leash off the third-party ban, and now we have people doing this. Do you think they revisit it? Like, hey, this is a warning. If one more person acts out like this, we're going back to the full ban. Do you think that could happen?
I don't see it going back to full ban because it caused such an uproar just within the roster. I don't see that happening. I guess WWE also could have been like, listen, we're going to make a fucking example out of you. And I'm sure there's going to be a fucking talent meeting. Everyone's going to be like, hey, I'll be posting nudes. I'll be doing this other shit. You've seen what happened. This will happen to you. You are replaceable. Move on.
100%.
Yeah. Someone
100%.
on Twitter did say her firing felt like a warning shot. Like, if you do this, you will get fired.
Dude, why is this shit? What my thing too is like you're doing this shit before the biggest time of the year for us,
right?
Where all eyes are literally on us.
Yeah, her, like you said, her decision making wasn't the greatest.
And she's straight, and like she said, site's going to be back up. So I'm going to be interested to see what she says because eventually she'll end up on a podcast somewhere. And if she said she was like warned 2 or 3 times, and I lean more towards then you did it on yourself, girl.
Yeah,
her decision making was terrible. IBeast leaking the direct messages, that was just bad. And I'm waiting for him to say something. That's the only reason I click on his Twitter now.
I feel like if he knows if he says something, like everyone's gonna go after him on Twitter. But they already have been.
Yeah, his mentions, I'm sure, have not been pretty.
But he did, in a way, as fucked up as it is, the dude did get what he wanted because he does have his 15 minutes of fame because you can't say Mandy Rose without IBeast in the same sentence anymore.
That is true. That's true.
And the dude got a shitload of followers probably off of it because people were like, well, I want to follow this guy just to see if he's going to post any more updates about this.
That is true. That's a good point, Jacob. That's a really good point.
Fucked up. 100% fucked up. I do not condone this. Audience, I'm talking to all of you. Don't be doing this shit. But yeah.
No, that's a really good point, man. Really good point on you. Mandy, wish you the best in your endeavors. If her stuff changes back to Amanda and she does bookings, well, she's probably going to cost $1 billion. Hey, L7C podcast. Got some fans who really dig you. I'm just saying, you can have your tell-all here, and I mean, we're not going to fully agree with you. Just saying, we're impartial over here. We're the sanest people left in the internet wrestling community, and I don't know if that's saying much. I don't know.
If she comes on the podcast, I'm agreeing with everything she says. I don't give a fuck.
Well, then I'm going to have to be that. You're going to be like Jim Ross, and I'm going to be like freaking Larry. I'm Jerry Lawler would be like, nah, I don't agree. And Byron's gonna be like, hold on, let's find the middle ground. Because she'll be like, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, don't make me pull the pictures. I'll be like, is this you?
Right.
Like, your title's right there.
The worst thing she could say is, I didn't do it.
Oh my gosh. Because whenever she gets on some podcast and she speaks her piece and WWE hears it, they're gonna be like, hold on now. Now there's some lies. So then they're gonna leak it to Meltzer or Ryan saying this is what really happened, because I'm surprised no one has said anything from WWE. It's about to be Friday. That's shocking.
Yeah.
Because it would have been quick. They're usually quick. Boom. All right, it's been leaked that someone's getting fired. Wish them the best in all our endeavors. Because we don't know if WWE fired her or they confronted her like, hey, you got to turn the site down. And she said no. And then she quit. Or WWE's like, hey, you got to turn the site down. I don't want you, this and that. And then they do the mutual part ways. We don't actually know which one it was.
That is true.
Because they could have been like, hey, this is the last one. You got to take that down. And then she's just like, no. Like Jacob said, if she says no to your face, like, what do you...
Then you kind of have to fire her.
But then also back to bring up what Byron said earlier, if allegedly if she's making more money at that, I'm going to stick with whatever's going to pay me more.
That's true, but no one... it's hard because no one would pay for her stuff if it wasn't for WWE. Or like, no one would know who she is.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People pay for that shit all the time.
It does when you're using their name in your site, and that's how people find you.
Well, even if she was using her regular stuff, I feel like people would still be paying for that. She'd just be some...
Jacob, do you know Mandy Rose's like real last name off the top of your head?
No.
It's easier to type in Mandy Rose fan page than Amanda. You would have to guess. You would type in Amanda's fan page and you find someone in Newcomers Town.
True.
I think we only have like 2 of them in our town, but...
And you might find one of them if you just typed in Amanda.
Hey, we got to pay for mess somehow around here.
I'm just saying, that's like Triple H making a Triple H only. My thing is too, where did she find this site? Like, she's like, I'm going to be that sneaky one who doesn't do OnlyFans because, I know they're checking around there. I'm going to find fan time.
Fan time. Someone had to put her onto it.
Yeah, some hoop. And that's another thing. She's like, who? And they're like, who put you onto it? And then she tries to rat him out.
If I'm the president of, like I said, this is the best free publicity for that website. If I'm the owner of that company, do you know how happy I am right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, look at all this. You couldn't afford, no amount of money would pay for this publicity right now.
Yeah, because she's being talked about on all the big sites, like all the real like news sites and all that stuff. Because again, no one knew what fan time was. Because people kept saying OnlyFans. I was like, it's not even OnlyFans. You type in Mandy Rose OnlyFans, there's nothing that exists, or Amanda. It's like fan time.
I don't know. Kmart?
A pay-per-view girl.
Well, because I haven't made one in a long time. Here's the toxic wrestling conspiracy.
Okay.
Maybe my best friend did not like her, Nicholas Khan, put her onto this site. She thought it was going to be cool, and then turns around and is like, hey, we got to fire her. Obviously, people don't take that serious, but I'm just saying, I'm the biggest Nick Khan conspiracy person because he knocked off the whole McMahon family. He
did.
Which, going back, because I know in my conspiracy heart, when because now we're going to switch to Vince real quick before we go to Sasha. Vince randomly talking about trying to come back, and nobody wants him back. Investors don't want him back. No one in the company wants him back. And then as soon as he opened his mouth, he wanted back. 2 people have accused him of new stuff. I don't want more money. I'm telling you, Nicholas is playing chess.
He is, and he's winning on the Vince side, not on the Triple H or Stephanie side, but the Vince side, he's got all his chess pieces in a row.
But in all seriousness, what did you guys think about like Vince trying to make a comeback and everyone not wanting him, and then new allegations popping up immediately?
That is the wildest thing. Like, as soon as you want to come back, here are 2 new allegations. I was like, I don't know if it's best if you come back right now, since 2 more sexual allegations came against you. Like, I've lost count as how many he's up to now. It's insane.
And WWE stock has gone up 15% since he's been gone.
Right. Like, the product feels alive right now. Like, no one wants Vince back.
He'd come back and fire all the people Triple H brought back. He'd probably try and fire Triple H.
100%.
But if they don't make him CEO and Stephanie, that'd be awkward, because then you're working for your kid. And But Jacob, what do you think about like Vince? The rumors that he's saying he's going to try and make a comeback to 2 new allegations.
All right. I laughed when I seen it, because the first thing I thought of was like right after like all the allegations came out, and Vince kept just showing up every week. And I kept wanting Vince to like come out and be like, buy one, get one half off on the WWE shop on t-shirts. That's all I wanted Vince to do. But I was like, fuck, like, what the fuck is he going to do? Like, the product is flourishing. Like you said, stock's up 15%. This is great. And then Vince is like, fuck it, I'm coming back, bitches. Fucking the most random shit. But it's like, this is the most Vince McMahon shit.
In the same fucking week, dude, as the same week.
And the allegation thing, okay. This is a whole fucking gray area for me again. And Martin, me and you have talked about this before. Byron, I believe you have too. Are the allegations most likely true of the 2 new ones? Most likely. But I always have to look back at the Enzo Amore case of things and go, this guy got fucked over.
That's Jacob right there. That's the perfect thing, because I was going to spaz on some people on Twitter when they were talking about, because she's a girl and all that stuff. I was like, Enzo got fired for an accusation, and he was proven innocent in all accords, and he never got his job back. So let's do your research before we start accusing people of double standards. Now, them keeping Vince while he had like 500 allegations, that's messed up. But he was the boss. What the hell can you do?
It's in our current social media climate of things. If you automatically go like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be freaking out just yet, we need to get more facts and evidence and everything else, then you're a fucking asshole for doing that.
Yeah.
So it's a fuck situation. Yes, I have no doubt Vince McMahon is a shitbag, but I'm pretty sure everyone's known Vince has been a shitbag for years. It's Vince McMahon, evil genius.
And Jacob, I agree that everyone's knew he was a shitbag. I think once you started messing with the company's money, like we said on that podcast a year ago, when you just gave that random girl an extra $100K bonus, and the board's like, what does she even do around here? And then you realize, like, the investigation cost WWE $20 million. I didn't know they just had $20 million to just throw away on an investigation, just to be like, yeah, Vince is pervy.
They cost $20 million to dig up $4 million. Like,
yeah,
I'm not a math genius here, but I feel like you lost $16 million in losses here. But all right, whatever.
I mean,
Vince, you got to
had the money from selling the WWE network for $1 billion.
Bro, I felt like it was 10 years ago.
What was it, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, right before the pandemic? It does feel like it was 10 years ago. Bro.
Yeah.
Well, they had that money, but remember, man, when Vince was there, budget cuts.
That was all our last year was just roster update.
2021.
Shout out Mitch Ozo.
2021.
That's all our podcasts were like, well, this person got released today. This person got released today. And this person got released.
But now we know why. That money had to go somewhere. It had to go to the Vince hose. Whatever he was calling them. The fucking nerve. Now I'm getting, you were cheating where your kids worked? and didn't
Right.
think this shit was good. Come on, man.
Vince McMahon signing NDAs left and right.
Maybe Linda's into that shit. We don't know.
Bro, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. His own hit went and see. Bro, hiring Nicholas was the worst and best thing that has ever happened for that company. One, everyone was out here getting no one was getting exposed till Nicholas started working there.
True.
But then Triple H wouldn't be in charge unless Nicholas got them all out. If this was a freaking Game of Thrones, you would think Nicholas is the one who made Triple H get the heart attack.
Right. Man tried his best to get in power.
Well, Shane got his ass out. He made his dad fire him. That was done.
That's true.
Stephanie, you got hit with you got 3 daughters, dude. You ever gonna go be a mom? Send her ass home. Triple H, heart attack. And then Vince, time to unleash the leaks. He almost had it, man.
Almost had it. If Vince got fired, they said, hey, we got to bring Stephanie back. And Stephanie came back. She said, I know I'm bringing Triple H back, head of creative. Bruce Pritchard, you're out.
Shane, you're still at home. Fuck you. I wonder how Christmas is going to be this year.
Oh, Christmas is about to be wild. If I could be a fly on the wall.
I wonder how Thanksgiving was. Like, oh, how's the thing going? Well, Mandy's gone. If you haven't read the papers. You have more
stock
obligation.
Is up 15%.
So you're making money at home, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, I'm thinking about having Roman lose after WrestleMania. What? Which
God
Roman hasn't been
coming back.
Which Roman hasn't been pinned officially in 3 years, and the last person to pin him was Baron Corbin.
Which is wild.
2019 Baron Corbin.
Wrestling god.
Speaking of him, Jacob, I actually saw him. We saw him in person at the GalaxyCon we went to, the big Comic-Con. He was there with his hat and all.
Honestly, I miss poor Corbin. Like,
yeah.
That was the best thing Corbin ever did, in my opinion. They did not let that go long enough.
See, this is pure WWE before we get to Sasha. They can't get out of their own fucking way. You first get everyone pumped up because you say December 30th, John Cena's coming to SmackDown. So now everyone's like, what's he about to do? Everything is good. Money is up. Then this Mandy shit happened. No, first Vince happens. No, first Mia, then Vince, then Mandy. And now we get to, which we saw a couple weeks ago, which is now more official-ish, that it came out of nowhere that Sasha Banks, one of the 4 horsewomen, was going to be wrestling in Japan. A couple weeks ago, all 3 of us were like, okay.
Right. It came out of nowhere.
Today, Byron shares that Sasha's contract's been done at some point in summer of 2022, and she's basically going to be able to wrestle wherever the hell she wants. And that's how the Japan thing is going to be. So there's a lot. What the hell happened?
Well, we don't know if she's wrestling or not. We don't know if she's wrestling or just making an appearance or what's going on. We don't know for sure. We just know Sasha Banks, Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Yeah. True. We don't. That's true, because that's all we know.
We can also put on our wrestling conspiracy hats and have Carl Anderson talk to Sasha about possibly coming back while they're both there. I don't know.
I have Byron say something, because I actually have something I want to say now, because we're doing conspiracies. Go ahead, Byron.
I was going to say this wrestling speculation is that she's going to face Kairi Sane at Wrestle Kingdom 17, because she did tweet a photo or like an Instagram post a couple of months ago with like her versus Kairi Sane as like a dream match for her. So that's what the current speculation is for Wrestle Kingdom 17.
And like Bailey and her are doing a lot, which I can't even have watched it because Mandy Rose took over all the freaking airways. Like they were doing a live thing. I wonder what they talked about. And maybe that's how this came out. But here's the thing. So let's say it was done in June of 2022, right? Sasha's thing. And we were all under the impression she was like, whatever. It kept it quiet until January. Going back to my thing, you could just done the same shit with Mandy Rose.
Sure.
Keep it quiet, do an investigation, then make a decision after. Mandy, this said nah. But again, we need to know the conversation. I don't know who's gonna spill from the WWE side, but we know Mandy will have her side.
Yeah.
But with Sasha though, I remember saying this on a couple episodes with Jacob. I think Byron, you've been on some of these. I always said she'd be the first 4 horsewoman to leave. Because ever since when she got big on the Mandalorian, I was like, that's it. That's it. She became the most mainstream one of them.
Mm-hmm. Like, Bailey hasn't done anything outside of WWE. I know Becky was just on an episode of The Young Rock as Cyndi Lauper. I don't think Charlotte's done anything outside.
She did
of
like
WWE.
they did.
Oh, she does have those commercials
and the ESPN, the body thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, the Mandalorian took off, and I guess Sasha said, "You know what? I think my time in WWE is nearing its end."
I mean, she missed the Royal Rumble a couple years ago because she was filming for the freaking Mandalorian.
True.
I mean, it was once that happened, I was like, all right. And she's the only person getting action figures from 2 different companies.
Yeah.
So, and again, like she's always had it. Becky, when she became the man, that's when she became more like in the like, casual's eyes. And then Charlotte, because of her lineage, Bailey's just a wrestler. I mean, no disrespect to her, but she's like just WWE full through and through. And like Sasha had other stuff. Now with her, now if that's true, what the hell happens to Naomi?
I don't know. Like when I read the Sasha thing, I'm like, does that mean that Naomi also is not under her WWE contract anymore and it just hasn't came out yet? Like that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, their contracts could be up at separate times though.
True.
Yeah.
What if they just swerve us all? What if she like wrestling conspiracy? We do all this and then have a final 4 of the Royal Rumble be Charlotte, Naomi, Sasha, and Mandy Rose. What a swerve this would all be.
That would be the biggest wrestling swerve I think I've witnessed since watching wrestling.
Hey, if we don't get that WWE like tweet by the end of this Sunday, I'm going conspiracy. I'm going to start leading that way because that's waiting too long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, something else of this Wrestle Kingdom thing. Kyrie already does have a match on night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom because they just announced their full card earlier.
Looks like
I didn't know that.
Looks like she might be wrestling. Is that a fake card though? You know, card subject to change.
That was off the New Japan Instagram page. So
okay,
I've
interesting.
learned to go in these events. They could change that card at any time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see it. I can see what Sasha doing, what Ronda did when she first debuted. Show up at the end of Kyrie's match and have a stare down with her.
Yeah, she would get a huge pop. That's for sure.
But you know, any more talking about this sad, morbid WWE wrestling all going to shit things? We want to go to some fun stuff real quick.
Let's do it.
So this podcast was supposed to be about our favorite moments in 2022 in wrestling. That was what we were going to talk about. So, Jacob, what was some of your favorite moments in this year of wrestling?
All right. I got a couple, like just moments, matches. Are we just
sure? Just any of them. Let's not be too long since we were talking about Mandy for over an hour.
All right. Well, favorite moments. Bray Wyatt coming back was all massive for me.
Mm-hmm.
Another great fucking moment was let's be real, Vince McMahon getting fucking fired or leaving. that was the best fucking thing that's happened for fucking WWE in years.
It is.
I mean, if that's not the top of like all your guys' list, no matter what.
Oh shit!
That's it. That is the biggest fucking holy shit moment of 2022. Because we all thought he'd die before he gave up power.
Yeah,
true.
All it took was Nicholas. Shout out Nicholas. So that's probably my. Let's be real. That's probably my biggest moment. Bray Wyatt showing up. What else? The Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match probably would go down possibly as my match of the year, just because what Cody went through.
Just imagine how long this year is. Cody Rhodes came back this year.
April, WrestleMania.
And it's also really weird to be like, yeah, Hell in a Cell. Like, that just happened a couple months ago. And it's like, wait, no, that happened like at the beginning of the year. They fucked up everything. Made that an early year pay-per-view. Triple H changed it back.
Oh, shit.
And then we also have to talk about the crazy moment of CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's my disappointing moment of the year.
Yeah, it was a fucking hell of a topic, though.
Yes, it was.
Reporting wise, that's up there. General fucking news wise, I guess that's down. But figure it out either way. So whoever's next, that's my top things, boys.
Byron, I'll go next. You can end it up. You can end the pod.
All right.
I want to name stuff that Jacob didn't name because I have some of the same things. So, since your last thing you said about CM Punk, I'll be cheeky and say Kevin Owens living out CM Punk's dream, main eventing night one with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's a top moment for me because obviously Punk, that was supposed to be Punk in like 2000 whatever, but he's just an asshole. One of my things too, MJF finally winning the title. It just hurts because it wasn't against Punk, but like seeing him finally win and then seeing like his ascension, and it was really cool to see. You already brought up Cody, so I can't bring up Cody. So man, you already brought up Vince. I guess side with that, Triple H coming back from a heart attack because we went from dude was going to be dead to running creative and all that WWE in a span of months. So that was really cool. I'm trying to remember too. Byron, was this WrestleMania the WrestleMania where Bianca came out with the Texas band?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really cool seeing. And then Triple H making everything watchable. Like SummerSlam, he's like, I'm going to bring Bayley's back, Io's back, Dakota. Seeing him keep coming back with different people, that was really cool. And then the wrestler of 2022, Sammy Uso.
Sammy
fucking Uso.
He's the wrestler of 2022, man. And I think match wise, because you already brought the Cody thing, even though they lost, which is Street Profits versus the Bloodline.
Ooh.
Those, I think that was my outside of the Cody one. Like that was a match where I was like, oh, these guys can really, really do things. But those are some of my favorite things. And I guess Paige coming back to wrestle, her first promo was ass water, but her coming back,
guys.
that was terrible. But also in general, the rise of tag team wrestling is taking prominence. Usos, the Acclaimed, shout out to the Acclaimed. FTR, like tag teams really putting 2022 on their back.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Captain.
Some of my favorite moments, I'm trying to mention ones that you haven't mentioned. Top one for me was the ascension of Liv Morgan winning the Money in the Bank match and winning the title in the same night, and just the crowd just being 100% behind her. Michael Cole and why can't I think of his name? Pat McAfee going crazy on commentary when she won.
That's
just one of my favorite moments of 2022.
That's a really good one.
I know you mentioned the Cody Rhodes match, but just Cody Rhodes coming back from leaving AEW, which was wild because no one thought he would leave AEW, to being rumored to be Seth's opponent at WrestleMania, to the moment of him actually coming and saying the wrestling world has more than one wrestling family, and just him showing up was wild. I'll just mention the trilogy with Seth Rollins as a whole was a top moment of 2022. Sami Zayn and being with the Usos and him making everyone crack. He's just been amazing, like you said, wrestler of 2022. And then one last moment, I would say Drew versus Roman at Clash of the Castle is probably one of my favorite matches because just the energy of that crowd during that whole match and the moments were like, man, Drew actually might win this. There's just great storytelling, great crowd, great energy. One of my top matches of 2022.
You brought up that crowd. Shout out to Sheamus versus Gunter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Shout out to Sheamus versus Gunter. I mean,
that legitimately could be match of the year also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. I just said the Cody thing because the fact he did what he did with the pec injuries.
A torn pec, yeah.
Fucking brutal.
What would be some of the worst moments of the year?
Well, like you said, it's the all-out media scrum. It's probably one of the worst moments of 2022.
What, you don't like the EVPs? You don't like the EVPs? You're working with fucking children?
I'm old. I'm tired. I work with fucking children.
I just remember laying in my bed with my eyes wide open, just staring. I'm like, is this really happening?
That was the wildest thing, bro.
Like, it
was a good pay-per-view, and then CM Punk just had to ruin everything. Called out Adam Page, one of the probably nicest humans in wrestling, said,
Not to him.
He was what do you call it? Working off book, or I can't remember.
He was working for himself.
Yeah, working for himself. Like Adam Page. Okay.
Any other terrible moments?
Yeah. Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry, Ben.
Probably the whole Vince McMahon NDA scandal is probably one of the worst. Also, one of the worst moments of 2022 as well.
Worst and the best. We love controversy here.
Right.
Jacob, you got any worse moments?
I mean, hashtag shout out to all the women that got paid off by Vince McMahon, I guess.
Oh, God.
But listen, it brought us a lot of joy with Triple H coming in. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Let's see. One of the worst, fuck it, because I have been known to be biased time to time on this podcast. So I'll be unbiased here. One of the worst things in 2022 was AEW bringing in like 5,000 new fucking titles and making everything so fucking confusing and not well done. God damn it, Tony. Figure it out. I got too many fucking titles happening right now.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, I guess earlier, Tony Khan did buy Ring of Honor. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we're shit.
Dude, Tony's like WWE. He does one thing good and then everything goes to shit in 2 weeks because he does something fucking dumb.
True.
Yeah.
While you're thinking, I will say I forgot one of my best moments. Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay.
Oh yeah.
Excellent match.
Will Ospreay's had some bangers this year. Him and Okada, Wrestle Kingdom was fucking really, really fucking good too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this is the best moment. We found out that people really do hate Thunder Rosa in the back, and her and Tony Storm have legit beef. Found that out.
Yeah, that was wild.
Jamie's champ. Shout out to her. I got a worse match. Not saying that it was the worst match ever, but build up and everything and delivery, it was the worst match ever. The main event of WrestleMania, Roman and Brock winner take all, when they were saying this is going to be the biggest match of all time, that match was ass. Straight ass. We all thought, we speculated, oh, did someone get hurt? Then you find out, no, that's how long the match was supposed to be, and that's what was supposed to happen. You build up a match for the greatest thing of all time. Brock didn't even need to have the title. You wanted Roman to have 2 titles, sure, but that was terrible. That was ass water. And it was so ass water that their SummerSlam match had one of the best moments with Brock coming out on the tractor and lifting the ring. That should have been the WrestleMania match.
Also jumping off the tractor and clotheslining Roman was also a great
Nah, but
moment too.
But WrestleMania 39, was it 39?
38.
38 was ass. And I'm going to already bitch about this, and I'm going to be all week. WWE, if any of your little social media interns type in WWE and find our podcast and listen to this segment, please tell them that night 2 is supposed to be better than night fucking 1. I am tired of night 1 being. Why the fuck do I watch night 2 of WrestleMania? If night 1's always going to be better, why do I watch that shit?
This is crazy. Like, they've had night 2 twice, and both of them have been absolutely trash.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
Guys,
goddamn.
We should be acclimated to this. We really should. Because all three of us were massive NXT fans back when it was the black and gold brand. And every time they did their takeover, it was always better than WrestleMania.
True,
so
but it wasn't this
disappointing. We were always disappointed come the following show. So it is what it is.
But it is bad. It's just bad, man. Because it's poo water. I haven't had there's no been good night 2, like the whole night. Maybe you could find one match, but it's just been bad. And I guess Jacob, your thing is a good point.
I mean, it's a very Nicholas type thing, you could say. I'm going to make that a fucking adjective.
I have one more worse thing of 2022, and it's probably going to make me sound biased. I don't care. Ronda Rousey.
Oh, Jesus.
Worst of 2022. She can't talk. She can't wrestle. She's our SmackDown Women's Champ. The worst thing. Worst thing of 2022.
Who's worse, Byron?
Okay.
Ronda Rousey or Dominic Mysterio?
As a wrestler?
Or as an overall package?
Or in general?
Both.
Dude,
I'm going to say Ronda. Because I actually kind of like Dominic's character.
Do you like Dominic or do you like Dominic because he's hanging around with Rhea?
Probably because he's hanging around with Rhea.
Dominic is.
If we're being 100% honest.
That's the only thing I like about the fucking guy.
I'll throw this out too because we haven't since Dominic and always this meme. Shout out to Mr. Paul. Shout out to Mr. Paul. One of the better moments of 2022. Is it Logan? Yeah, Logan.
Yep.
Logan putting in work in the wrestling ring. Shout out to
Paul,
him.
Yeah. Both his matches this year have been fantastic against The Miz. And even had a great match against Roman.
Yeah. Oh, also because we're talking about bias, and I haven't been super biased yet. John Cena's 20th anniversary, because he actually showed up for fucking his, not Dwayne. So let's just throw that out there. And seeing all the people in the thing talk to him and all that jazz, and like just a feel good. He had a segment. He didn't like shovel anybody, none of that stuff. Did a segment, put other people over, went home. We're still waiting for Dwayne.
He's coming.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm interested to see what 2023 holds for the wrestling world.
Yeah. Guys, next time we're back, literally almost in a couple of weeks in January, we're talking about who needs to win the Rumble.
I have no idea. Last year I knew. This year I do not.
We're already here. Like, we're going to be doing Royal Rumble preview in a couple of weeks.
I can't believe this year has gone by that fast. Like, it's already Royal Rumble season.
It's that magical time of the year, boys.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Only thing that keeps you out of the seasonal depression. Road to WrestleMania.
And Triple H's first WrestleMania in charge.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
His first WrestleMania season, so. Anything else, guys? This was a great way to end the wrestling year. Ended on a feel good. We had some crazy stories come out, and now we're some good moments in the wrestling world.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
2022 was better than 2021 when it came to a good wrestling year.
That's true.
So,
that is true.
I feel like everyone won this year. Everyone, just a wrestling community as a whole, it's a fucking
drop in feel good moment too. Dean Ambrose being Captain America of AEW. Never knew he had that in him. Shout out to him because he kept that shit afloat.
Yeah, after
Punk
that.
went to shit.
Yep. He said, no, this is my company. I'm going to fight for it. And did great. Tony Khan, give that man a vacation. He deserves it.
Facts.
Yeah, listen. If you listen to the last podcast, Byron, me and Martin
edited
it. We talked about it.
Oh,
You did.
shit.
What's the deal?
Oh my god, that was funny. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. You'll probably hear this after the end of year podcast because the end of year podcast is going to be live. Make sure you check that out on YouTube because by the time you listen to this, yeah, we're gonna be live.
You're trusting me on a live platform?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, you didn't show up last year. Yeah, we're gonna be live. Everyone who's on there is gonna be live.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
Make sure that newcomer sound internet connection is working.
Listen, it should help on me twice this year, all right? That was a bad part of the year, all right?
I'm just saying, your Dragon Ball expert and co-teammate on the L7C, Mitch, does not believe you're gonna be there.
I don't give a shit. I wasn't there last year, and we did another one, and half the people showed up again.
Well, Mitch wanted to talk shit, but we can't wait for that Tuesday. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see how many times you listen to certain people on the podcast, how many episodes they did in this entire year, their averages, talk about the future, and yeah, go from there. With that being said, this is the L7C podcast. Again, Mandy, we wish you the best in all your endeavors. We're going to give you that before WWE does, which it is what it is, but we know we will see you soon. Listen to the L7C.